Mother of Christ, it is absolutely goddamn fucking roasting outside. I mean, seriously. I, the temperature doesn't suit this climate, and it never will. Like, we've had soaring temperatures before, but I'm hearing rumours that Britain is supposed to get highs of 36 to 39 degrees in the next couple of weeks, and I think that's fucking mental. Now, thankfully, where I live, Ireland, it's only going as high as 26 degrees, and that's tolerable at the very, very most, because I don't do hot weather. It bothers me so much. Like, I can never. I'm always of a belief of I would rather be too cold than too hot, because if I'm too cold, that means it's not effort to heat up. There's plenty of ways you can do to heat up. You can put more layers of clothing on. You can wear gloves. You can put a hat on. You can put the heating on. You can have a cup of tea or a cup of coffee or anything hot. You know, you can put the fire on. You've got options. But when it's too hot, you don't have many options. It's ridiculous. It's so I'm too hot right now, and I'm absolutely dripping from head to chin, and there's not much I can do about it. I don't know if you can hear it in the background, but I do have a desk fan on. So you're going to hear this throughout much of this episode. I'll do my best to cancel out any background noise, but the moment I start talking, the audio that's being received from my voice, the fan is unfortunately going to pick it up, and there's absolutely nothing I can do about it, because I don't have that much of an expensive microphone to cancel out that type of audio. So you may do with it, because it's absolutely boiling in this house. It's boiling in this room, especially this room, because of all the electronics I've got on, and the heat protruding from the computer itself. I mean, that's me cracking open a freezing cold can of Coke, which isn't going to fucking last. I might as well get a second can. It's so fucking hot. And right now, it's 18 degrees Celsius at 10:30 a.m. And it's only going to get hotter through the day. So when it's nearly 20 degrees at this time in the morning, actually, as I look at my clock now, it's telling me that it's 19 degrees. With the humidity at 83%, which means it's really clammy, it's really hot, the wind is going to do almost nothing. I cycled from work to home this morning, and I went downhill, and the air that was hitting my face was hot air. That's how fucking roasting it is outside. Oh, it's a nightmare. It's a fucking nightmare. Anyway, that's enough about me complaining about the temperature and the heat. So let's get into what this is. And what this is the GB Gaming Podcast. And I'm Dave, talking to you on GB Gaming, where video games come first. And I haven't really got anything scripted or written down, or I'm not really reading from any list. I'm just going to go into the news stories, and I'm just going to pick out what's the most interesting, and I'm just going to talk about the things that interest me the most. But there is a couple of things that I do want to point out that I did notice that I didn't get to talk about this last 2 weeks or so. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Let's just cut to the chase on this topic surrounding The Last of Us Part 1, because it kind of irked me a little bit. But here's what happened. On the 10th of July, which is yesterday as I write this right now, the developer of The Last of Us came out and said that The Last of Us Part 1, the remake, is not a quote-unquote cash grab. And furthermore says that the highest level of care and attention to detail was given. And I'm pulling this from Eurogamer.net, so I'm going to read most of the article if I can. And it says, in a tweet on his personal Twitter account, Robert Morrison, whose credits also include Resident Evil 7, Injustice 2 and Santa Monica Studios' God of War reboot, countered such claims that The Last of Us Part 1 was a cash grab by saying and insisting that it is, quote, the most meticulously built and crafted project, quote, that's had the highest level of care and attention to detail possible, end quote. the animator Morrison, who worked on The Last of Us Part 1 and now works at fellow Sony studio Bend, said, quote, actually, it's the most particular... I just said that. Yeah, okay. Highest level of attention to detail. And then it says, the tweet has kicked off a wide range of responses, both of support and dissent in the comments, with some insisting there's already a remaster and, quote, online is not finished yet for The Last of Us Part 2, end quote, and others stating it'll be as Naughty Dog originally imagined it because of the advancements in game-making technology, and no one is being, quote, forced, end quote, to buy it. A fan-made video focusing on 2013's The Last of Us highlights some of the most impressive details hidden within the game that many may have missed. Ahead of The Last of Us Part 1's release date for PS5 and eventually PC, content creator, oh god, sorry about this, Speclizer, has revisited the first game in Naughty Dog's post-apocalyptic world. He, who along with other members of Naughty Dog modding Discord server discovered the huge scrapped multiplayer map in The Last of Us Part 2, spoke to Eurogamer about their passion for the series. Quote, since the day the game was released in 2013, I've been hooked. There was nothing like it at the time, and still to this day, there is no other game I've loved as much as The Last of Us, end quote. So, basically, they're trying to curb the opinion that The Last of Us Part 1 is a cash grab, and defending it by saying that it is the highest level of care and attention to detail possible crafted for the game. And I think it comes off as a little bit tone deaf, in that we know it's meticulously crafted. We know that you're doing a great job remaking this game. I'm putting that in air quotes, by the way, because I don't class this as a full-blown remake. And then I'm sure that they're doing a fantastic job doing this and upgrading it and making it more modern, if you know what I mean, making it play like The Last of Us Part 2 at the very least. I get that, but to call it a cash grab is still valid, in my opinion, because you are taking a game that is 9 years old, and God knows, see, I haven't seen enough gameplay, if any, of this remake to warrant even remotely thinking about putting €70 towards this. Because as far as I'm concerned, and I said this on the last episode, The Last of Us that was released in 2013 and its remaster still plays fantastic. I don't understand where the opinion of it's outdated and treating it like it's some sort of obsolete mess came from. I don't understand that, because nobody was complaining about the gameplay when it first came out. And how can your opinions change so rapidly upon the announcement of this remake? I mean, I don't understand where people are coming from, where they've... Pardon that noise, that was just one of my controllers that fell off the desk. Anyway, I don't understand the opinion of it's outdated. Like, these people have jumped into The Last of Us Part 2 and all of a sudden The Last of Us Part 1 is horrible to play. Like, it's outdated, obsolete, bad. It's not as if this is a 30-year-old game that hasn't aged particularly well. How can a game age so bad so quick when there's other games that have aged like fine? Let me put it this way. If you loved The Last of Us so much, you wouldn't be criticising how old and outdated it is. Because as far as I'm concerned, The Last of Us Part 2, while it plays a lot better and looks a lot better than The Last of Us Part 1, that kinda has to be obvious when you're making a follow-up. The successor will be better than the predecessor. It should be. Like, not once have I ever went back to The Last of Us Part 1 and thought, oh, this is old, oh, this is outdated. Like, am I less inclined to be even bothered by it? Like, is that why I don't notice any differences in a negative aspect? I'm going to paraphrase someone who said this as well, and it basically says, an improved successor does not mean a bad predecessor. Like, just because you have a game that's better than the previous one doesn't make the previous one bad to play. It's getting to a point now where people's standards are getting a little bit out of whack when it comes to these games. And I think that's why people have the opinion of it's outdated, because just because it doesn't play as good as the successor doesn't mean it's shit. Like, with that opinion, every game... It's kind of ironic that people have this opinion, actually, saying that the previous one's outdated and whatnot. But yet we have games like God of War, whereby the gameplay on that is supposedly the same as the prior one, and people are calling it a copy and paste job, or DLC, that it plays the exact same way as the previous game. Same goes with Horizon Zero Dawn and Horizon Forbidden West, where people were complaining that the animations were the exact same, and that the gameplay was the exact same. They called it copy and paste. Yet, because The Last of Us Part 1 didn't do the exact same as for The Last of Us Part 2, instead they improved on it with The Last of Us Part 2, it automatically makes The Last of Us Part 1 shit to play. It doesn't make any fucking sense, not once. So I don't believe that this game is going to be worth 70 quid. I really don't believe it. And I don't want to hear this bullshit of if you don't like it, don't buy it. A principle needs to be fucking set here, okay? The people that don't like it don't have to shut the fuck up about it. We're allowed to voice our opinions the same way yous are allowed to voice your positive opinions and why yous like it. We're allowed to do the complete opposite. We are allowed to voice our distaste for something and our negative opinions about something. Just because you don't like our opinions doesn't mean that you need to try and silence us. We're not trying to silence you. You know, we're not telling you not to buy it. You can buy it if you want, the same way we don't have to buy it if we don't want, but we are allowed to voice our opinions and why we will not buy it. Like, if you try and tell us to be silent on everything we don't like, then you'll get nothing but fucking shit thrown at you, and you're going to have to like it no matter what. Because one of these days something's going to come out that you don't like, and you're not going to want to, and you're going to want to say something, but you're not going to like it when someone tells you to shut up. It's the same thing. The same goes with this. Just because we don't like the fact that The Last of Us Part 1 is 70 quid doesn't mean we're not allowed to voice our concerns about it. Because I don't believe it's right to do this. I mean, look at like Resident Evil 2, for example. I know it's not nearly the same thing, neither is Skyrim and all that, but you still, like, if we were to do the same thing that Naughty Dog did, where they improved upon a previous game, for example, PS4 to PS5. So if I get a game that's on PS4 and then it gives me a PS5 upgrade, the most I'll pay is maybe 30 quid, and that, I think that goes towards the likes of Neo, because Neo got a remaster and you have to pay 30 or 40 quid to upgrade that from the version you currently have. I think, I'm not sure, but you do get some sort of discount. 30 or 40 quid is the most I've seen. The least I've seen but still have to pay is 10 quid for the likes of GTA 5, for the likes of Uncharted. If you own the PS4 version of Uncharted and you want to play the upgraded version for PS5 with all the PS5 features, pay a tenner. But some games, like Watch Dogs Legion, like Demon's Souls, not Demon's Souls, like Bugsnax or anything like that, you know, any game that comes out on both PS4 and PS5, there is no extra cost. You can play the PS5 version as if you own the PS4 version, and you don't have to pay a penny. Assassin's Creed Valhalla is a good example of that. You know? So, Cyberpunk, that's another example. I didn't have to pay squat to play the PS5 version of that, and it was much improved. So why is it when, like, why can't Naughty Dog charge? In fact, here's a good point. If your game is not a cash grab, sell it for 40 quid. If it's not a cash grab and you're proud of the work you did, sell it for 40 quid then. The work you did for the remake of The Last of Us Part 1 cannot be worth 70 quid per game. Not only that, but you're not even putting it on the PlayStation Plus Extra service. Not that you should, that's up to you. But at the same time, these exclusives for Xbox are coming out, and some of them are just as meticulously crafted, I would argue, and they're going on day one on Game Pass. You have the option to pay full price for them if you want. But if they're on Game Pass and you're subscribed to it, why not pick it up there? If you really like the game and you want to support the company, I suppose you could pay full price for it. And that's another thing. I'm not against people buying it. I'm not against people buying this. If you want to buy it, then go ahead. It is your right as a customer to buy a thing you really want. But I personally, and a lot of other people, do not see that price being justified. And I refuse to put 70 quid towards The Last of Us Part 1 when I have already experienced the exact same game and it's still fresh in my mind. So, to counter developer of The Last of Us Part 1, or whoever you are, Robert Morrison, yes, I do think it's a cash grab. But not for the reasons that you think we think it is. It's a cash grab because you're doing this and selling it for 70 quid. That's the cash grab. Not to mention that there was very little reason to remake this game in the first place. Whatever. I mean, when I first heard that this game was getting remade, I thought it was a rumour. I thought it was a joke. Everyone was surprised by it. Everyone was so taken aback because this doesn't really happen. This doesn't really happen. A full-blown remake of a game that isn't even that old. You can sit there and you can say it's 2 generations old all you like, but in reality, it's not that old. Because it came out at the tail end. When did it come out? Like, a year before the PS4 got announced? When did the PS4 come out? I think the PS4 came out in 2014? 2013, right? The PS4 came out in 2013, November 2013, and The Last of Us came out the same fucking year. The Last of Us came out on June the 14th, 2013. That's July, August, September, October, November. That's 5 months before the PS4 came out, and then you got a remaster a couple of months after that. The remaster came out a year later. So your game isn't really 2 generations old. It's basically 1 generation old. And it came out in 2013. It's not even 10 years old yet. So, a full-blown remake, I don't understand it. The remaster itself isn't even 9 years old yet. So, and I don't understand this argument either. I don't understand the argument that, it invites new players to experience this game in the best possible way. And that's fucking bullshit. There are plenty of people that before this remaster or remake was announced that have jumped into The Last of Us and that's their jumping on point, and they've been hooked since. There's nothing wrong with jumping into the PS3 and PS4 version of The Last of Us Part 1. There is absolutely nothing wrong with jumping into those versions. Those games play perfectly fine. And I'm not a fanboy. I'm not a fanboy because I'll know when a game feels outdated. I'll know when a game feels outdated. And The Last of Us doesn't feel outdated. It doesn't. How can a game 8 years, 9 years old feel outdated when there's games that are older than that still play great? Yet you will praise The Last of Us to the death. You will defend it to the death until the remake comes out and all of a sudden it's outdated. If you were as big as a Last of Us fan as you all claim you were, you wouldn't be saying that The Last of Us plays like ass. Nobody had this opinion before The Last of Us Part 2 even came out. I don't understand it. The game plays perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with The Last of Us Part 1 at all, and I do not see the point in putting 70 quid into this remake. I'm sorry, I don't. It is a cash grab. And it's a cash grab because you're doing this and charging 70 quid and giving no discount to people who want to upgrade from the PS4 version. And it's crazy that you won't even do that. Absolutely crazy. I don't understand it. I really don't. And one other thing before I get to the next topic is people are comparing this, complaining about The Last of Us Part 1 being 70 quid to Psychonauts 2 getting a physical release and costing about the same. People are comparing that to that and saying nobody's complaining about this. The reason why nobody is complaining about Psychonauts 2 getting a physical release is quite simply because Psychonauts 2's physical release is being handled by, what are they called? My 8-bit or something like that. Hold on, let me look it up. Oh, tell me I don't fucking remember. Bollocks. I am 8-bit. Yes. Right, the reason why people are not complaining about Psychonauts 2 getting a physical release is because it's been handled by iam8bit.com, which is basically a limited version. See, let me explain something here. Psychonauts 2 was never released physically in the first place. It was never intended to be released physically, and it's not getting released physically. Not by the company themselves. iam8bit is doing it, and iam8bit is very similar to the likes of limited run games, super rare games, and all that, where they will take a digital game, they will make it physical in some capacity, and they will add extra stuff onto it for collectors, and they will sell it at a premium price. That is their MO. That's how they've always done it. And here comes these newbies who've never even heard of such a thing, thinking that this is the company, the developers that are handling this and trying to do the same thing that the Last of Us Part 2 is doing, or Last of Us Part 1 is doing. And it's not even remotely the same thing. These people, iam8bit, have been around for fucking ages, and they've always done something like this. My Streets of Rage copy, that game never got a physical release as far as I'm aware. Hold on, let me just double check. I don't want to eat my words. So, like, if I decide to buy Streets of Rage 4 physically, I can. Yes, I can. Okay, fair enough. But what I'm saying is that when that game first came out, I don't know if it was physical. God, I can't fucking remember. But you could get a limited run version of that game that came particularly in its own physical case, handled by Limited Run Games, with a bunch of extra shit for collectors. That's how they work. And it's the same thing with Psychonauts 2. So it's a little bit stupid to compare that to The Last of Us Part 1 getting a remake, because it's not the same thing. It's absolutely not the same thing. And another thing as well, Psychonauts 2 is already on Game Pass, right? Anyone who wanted to play Psychonauts 2 can actually play it right now at a fraction of the price that the physical copy's asking for you, right? So, which means you can subscribe to the Xbox's Game Pass service to play Psychonauts 2, and you only need to pay for the month if that's the only game you want to play, right? What is that, a tenner or whatever? You know, that costs you a fraction of the price. You can have the game beaten in a week or less, and you'll have got your fill, and you wouldn't have even paid that much for it. It's not the same thing. Where's the option to get The Last of Us Part 2 or Part 1 on PlayStation Plus? Where's the option to get it there? No. The only way you can get The Last of Us Part 1 is if you pay 70 quid. That's the only way you will be able to play that game, and I am not fucking doing it. At the very least, if I'm going to pay for this brand new, I will look for it on Amazon or somewhere else that is selling it at a very reasonable price, and I will find one. I will find one way or another. I will find it. Otherwise, I am not putting any money towards that. No fucking way. I will wait until it either goes on sale or it is sold at a significantly less price away from Sony's platform. I'm sorry, I can't justify putting 70 quid towards that. It's not worth it in my books. So, if you were looking forward to, say, Red Dead Redemption or GTA 4 getting a remaster or a remake, then you're probably heartbroken by now, because it turns out that these games were getting remastered or remade in some capacity until the GTA trilogy came out and got its negative feedback. And I'm pulling this from IGN, and this was back in the 6th of July 2022, and it says Rockstar Games reportedly shelved planned remakes including Red Dead Redemption 1 and GTA 4 to focus on the upcoming GTA 6. This is after GTA the Trilogy, the Definitive Edition, was released to negative reviews from critics and fans alike. According to a prominent leaker and reported by Kotaku, both Red Dead Redemption and Grand Theft Auto 4 remasters were on the table a few years ago, but Rockstar chose not to proceed with the projects in mind. However, according to Kotaku, these projects weren't fully cancelled and could possibly see a return to development after GTA 6 releases. Let's hope, I suppose, eh? This guy called at TezFunZ2, or Ted Funds 2, I don't know, says, as per a reliable source with clear accuracy on Rockstar plans, remasters of GTA 4 and Red Dead Redemption 1 were on the table a few years ago, but Rockstar chose not to proceed with the projects in mind. The poor reception of the trilogy Definitive Edition might be a reason behind that decision. Tez attributed the cancellation of these remakes to the especially poor reception of last year's trilogy remaster, which received a 5 in IGN's review of its sloppy redesign and straight-up broken mechanics. The studio is now focusing on GTA 6, which was confirmed to be in development earlier this year. Though it's already been announced, fans shouldn't expect a wave of news about the title for a while, as Rockstar plans to reveal details about the game on its own schedule. It's possible that GTA 6 will not come out until 2024 or 2025, and even then, it'll reportedly have a smaller size with plans for post-launch updates to help eliminate crunch. And I was prepared to believe this, except for a few factors. And I'm just going to open it up on my Twitter account, because I remember saying this a few days ago. And it's like, I don't fully buy the reason that they're not making GTA 4 or Red Dead Redemption remasters because of the remake trilogy or remaster trilogy. I do not fully buy that being the reason. And the reason is here somewhere. I wrote it down. I can't remember where I wrote it down. Here we go. So I'm just gonna read this verbatim for what I wrote on Twitter. And I said, I feel like Rockstar Games are not really reading the room with the cancellation of remastering GTA 4 and Red Dead Redemption 1. I wonder if they cancelled them because they didn't make enough money from the GTA trilogy. Were they going to put Grove Street Games in the dev seat until they found out how much they fucked it, buggering up their plans? Are they hiding the real reason why they will not? I find it difficult to believe that the botched launch of the trilogy was the real reason that they won't remaster 4 and Red Dead Redemption if they weren't putting Grove Street Games on the vanguard to make it. Say what you want about the games, their dev teams are, for the most part, stellar. So why the sudden lack of faith in your own studios to make it? On the other hand, if there is one thing Rockstar have never been known for, it's remastering old work. GTA Trilogy was arguably their first time doing it to that scale, and they fucked it. Did it put them off? Would they mess it up again with GTA 4 and Red Dead Redemption 1? Or is this a case of the first pancake always coming out shit before you perfect the next one and they don't see it? Despite the remastered trilogy, I think they would have done fine. But this was before. I said this all before I found out that they were focused on GTA 6 and that they might go back to doing them after GTA 6 releases. But my guess is they wanted to make a certain amount of money from the GTA trilogy so that they could fund remastering GTA 4 and Red Dead Redemption 1. Turns out they didn't earn enough money to do that, so they're going to wait until GTA 6 comes out so that they do earn enough money so that they can go back and put more work on the 2 remasters. That's my theory now. That's my theory right now. But once GTA 6 comes out, who's going to play GTA 4? I'm sorry, I love GTA 4 now, and I love Red Dead Redemption 1, but the standards of the fans of these games are through the roof. It's ridiculous. They think Red Dead Redemption 1 sucks. They think GTA 4 sucks. GTA 5 and GTA Online and Red Dead Redemption 2 are the only 2 games that matter right now. So once they have a follow-up to either of those two games, they're only going to hate the previous games even more. So I don't even know if they'll bother to make the remasters of those two games, now that I think about it. But never say never. And I think that if they are going to do it, they'll wait until they earn the money from GTA 6. That's what I think. And I said this already last year, but I don't care if GTA 6 never comes out. I don't even care if it gets bad reviews. I really don't. Will I buy it? Yeah, probably, because I am a GTA fan. But what I do know is that they will focus on the online portion. Just like they did with GTA 5. GTA 6 is going to be this vanilla experience, and that's it. I'm talking about the single player content. GTA 6 is going to come out with its single player content, and it's going to have all this shit, and then the smoke is going to clear. The online portion will be out, or it'll be improved upon from what it is right now, and they'll just focus on that. They will not touch the single player portion once the online portion becomes more used. Basically, when the majority of players statistically have beaten the single player portion of the game, they will not feel the need to bother with it anymore. So, the GTA 6 single player portion, when that comes out, all the cars that you'll get, all the weapons that you'll get, all of that shit, that is all you're getting. If it's anything like GTA 5, GTA 6 will have so much improvements to the online, more cars, more weapons, more things to do, more buildings to enter, more activities to do, more mini-games to do. None of that will touch the single player portion. Unless they find some way to tie GTA Online with GTA single player. Maybe. If they find some way to tie that together, then maybe it'll be okay. But I doubt it. I doubt it. Now, the reason why I doubt it is because GTA 5 came out and it was a big thing, and the developers were going to put out single player content like DLC or expansions or anything like that until they realised how much money they were making on the online portion. They didn't feel the need to put any single player content out, save for a few weapons or radio stations or whatnot. But other than that, they didn't need to do it because GTA Online was making too much money for them. So they probably didn't even see a point. And I think GTA 6 is going to be the same thing. I think this is kind of like a FIFA situation or a Madden situation where the single player games are dying and the online is only getting bigger, and they're just going to focus on that. Some way to empty the wallets of customers who are willing to spend so much money on shark cards and all this microtransaction bullshit. They're going to find some way to make that the central thing on GTA 6, and I'm not looking forward to it. But I will admit, the single player portion of GTA is worth full price of admission for me. I will buy it. I will enjoy it. But I will not be giving them a single penny more for their online. Absolutely not. I never did it with GTA 5, and I am not doing it with GTA 6. No chance. Ubisoft are in the news lately, and not for the best reasons. In fact, they're being quite the scumbags lately. It has came to everyone's attention that Assassin's Creed Liberation HD will be delisted from Steam and will become inaccessible after September. And it sounds like, as far as I've been concerned, it also means that people who have actually bought the game won't even be able to play it. And the reason why I think is because they are actually moving it to their Ubisoft DRM platform on PC and making it only available there. So if you have already bought Assassin's Creed Liberation HD, you better get something out of it then before it gets taken down, because you won't be able to play it. At least that's what I've been led to believe anyway. So I'm on Eurogamer.net, so I'm pulling this article from there and I'm just going to read it out as it's been said. And it says, Ubisoft has warned that Assassin's Creed Liberation HD, quote, will not be accessible, end quote, from the 1st of September onwards. The game is now no longer available to purchase at the request of the publisher, a warning notice on the game's Steam page states. Silent Hunter 5, a submarine combat sim from Ubisoft, also has the same warning message. And curiously, Prince of Persia: The Forgotten Sands has a similar notice, though only for the game's deluxe edition and DLC. Ubisoft's move to make this selection of games and DLC inaccessible follows the earlier announcement that Ubisoft was shutting down a raft of online services for older games. That announcement went down poorly with fans, and indeed with one Ubisoft development studio. Anno 2070 maker Ubisoft Mains, sorry lads, I can't pronounce that, said it was attempting to patch its game so it remained possible to play after its servers were shut down. Yet another Ubisoft game set to become inaccessible after 1st September is Space Junkies, which is one of the titles set to have its online servers switched off. As an online-only game, however, this does at least make some sense. But what about Assassin's Creed Liberation HD? Eurogamer contacted Ubisoft for comment and received the following statement from the publisher's earlier announcement of servers being shut down. Quote, "We do not take the decision to retire services for older Ubisoft games lightly, and our teams are currently assessing all available options for players who will be impacted when these games' online services are decommissioned on the 1st of September 2022, end quote, a Ubisoft spokesperson told us. Quote, "We are also working with our partners to update this information across all storefronts, so players will fully be informed about the removal of online services at the point of purchase, as well as via our support article where we shared the news," end quote. "We hope to hear more on Liberation HD specifically, and will update when we do." I don't like this. I don't like this at all. It's anti-consumer for a start, and I know Assassin's Creed 3 Liberation isn't the most favoured game in the world in that series, but at the same time, if you've bought it, you should still have access to it indefinitely. It's your game. It's your game. And I am sick of the opinion of, when you buy a game digitally, you're only buying the license to play it. Fuck off. Fuck right off, because you won't like it when all of your games that you've bought become unavailable digitally. Especially ones that you've bought that are only digital. If that game becomes unavailable to you, you won't be humming the same tune. You definitely won't. So don't be sitting there saying, "Oh, you've only bought the license," as if it's not your problem. Because one day it will be your problem. So fuck off with that comment. Fucking buying the license to use it. Get fucked. You buy a license to use, under the terms and conditions, you should be allowed to keep it. Absolute nonsense. So I actually feel for people who own this game. There are people out there who own the game that maybe haven't played it yet. And people are sitting there saying, "Why would you play that when the remaster exists?" or blah blah blah. "Why would you play that when it's not even that good, or it's old, or anything like that?" That doesn't matter. That does not matter in the slightest. What matters is that if you buy a thing, it's yours. You shouldn't be told you can't play it if it's yours. This is definitely the same as what happened with PT. Granted, you didn't buy the game, but when you download it, it should have been still available to you in your library. But nope, Konami didn't want that to happen. Like, it doesn't matter whether or not anyone is playing it or how old it is. Like, someone actually told me that if you're seriously playing a 10-year-old game right now that was ported from a handheld in 2022, when there is a much better version of that game, I don't know what to tell you. That's what he said. He goes, "This isn't a case of a game becoming totally unavailable either. This is a case of Ubisoft wanting to fully shut down Uplay on PC. These are the risks you assume when you commit to digital-only distribution, especially with proprietary launchers." And I said to him, "Why are you defending it?" I said, "It doesn't matter whether or not anyone is playing it or how old it is. If you buy a thing, you should have infinite use out of it. They can delist it, but you should still be able to play for the Like, you should still be able to play the fucking thing that you paid for. And everyone was disagreeing with this guy, calling him a bootlicker and all that shit as well. And it's true. It's fucking true. Like Bethesda. Someone mentioned that Bethesda closed their launcher, but they didn't nuke the whole library. They moved them over to Steam free of charge. Someone said, imagine someone from Tesla coming over to your house and taking your Tesla away. Can't complain though, because there are other cars available to purchase anyway. Absolute fucking nonsense. This isn't going to go down well, and the people that are defending it are fucking weird, man. Absolutely weird. Why would you defend this? Why is this okay to you? You won't like it when you buy a game digitally and it gets taken away and there's no way for you to play it, and you will have paid how much money towards it. No, what they tell you is they'll tell you to go and buy another game. What? That's going to be okay for you? Bullshit. Bullshit. This is absolute crap. It's a bad move by Ubisoft, and I don't support it in the slightest. I think my last three topics were a bit on the downer side, so why don't we uplift the mood a little bit and tell you that God of War RAGNAROK has finally been announced to come out on the 9th of November 2022. And my god, it's about time we got something out of that. So I'm really excited about it. Obviously I'm going to get it, probably day one, God knows. I love the original, I love the 2018 God of War. It's one of the best games I've played on the PS4 platform. The story was outstanding. The gameplay was solid. I loved it. Absolutely loved it. So I can't wait to play more of this. I'm dying to see where the story goes. I'm really excited. It looks really good. But I didn't actually watch the trailer for the announcement of the date, and I refuse to watch any more footage of the game, because I'm the type of person that once I've decided that I'm going to get a game, I will not look at any more footage of it, and that is exactly what I'm doing with this. I knew I was going to get it, probably day one, probably week one at the very least, but I will not be looking at any footage of it. I don't want to be spoiled by anything, gameplay wise or otherwise. I don't want to ruin the game on me. Because a lot of gameplay trailers these days, or a lot of game trailers in general, they show too much. It's like movie trailers today, where they show far too many action set pieces that we didn't need to see in the trailer. And it turns out that it was like most of the best bits of the film. And same goes with games. I don't need to see that shit. So I'm not going to look at the trailer. I'm not going to look at anything like that. I don't need to. I'm excited for it. I'll play it fresh. I'll play it blind. I can't wait. November the 9th, 2022. That is August, September, October, November. That's 4 months away. It's coming out on a Wednesday, which means I'll probably get it that Friday or thereabouts. So yeah, looking forward to it. Can't wait. Looks good. I also found out a couple of days ago that Xbox is going to be discontinuing allowing Xbox 360 games into its Games with Gold service starting in October. And yeah, that makes that. I don't see a problem with that at all. I think the Xbox 360 library has had its fill on Games with Gold, and I think people who have been subscribed to Gold for this long, the games that are coming out, I'd say you've got most of them at this point, and I think they've honestly ran out of games to include. Like, all the best games have been included in it already, and now that we've got Game Pass, there's really no need. And the Xbox 360 games that are there are quite affordable. So I wouldn't see the reason. Yeah, there's no point. So I'm pulling this from Eurogamer again, and it goes, we will no longer be getting any Xbox 360 games included with Games with Gold as of this October. This is due to the fact that Microsoft has now reached the limit of its ability. for adding new Xbox 360 games to the service, Microsoft stated in an email to customers seen by Eurogamer. All is not lost though, as we will still be getting the usual monthly offerings of Xbox One games. And you will also still be able to re-download any Xbox 360 games you had already claimed as normal. You see that, Ubisoft? You see that? Take note. Take fucking note. I digress. Quote, from October the 1st, 2022, the monthly games provided to Xbox Game Pass Ultimate and Xbox Live Gold members via Games with Gold will no longer include Xbox 360 titles, end quote. Quote, we have reached a limit of our ability to bring Xbox 360 games to the catalogue. However, Games with Gold will continue to include exciting Xbox One titles and exclusive savings each month. This will not impact any Xbox 360 games that you downloaded before October 2022. Any Xbox 360 titles that you redeem via Games with Gold before that time are yours to keep on your Xbox account, regardless of whether you continue your subscription. Thank you for being a loyal member. End quote. Meanwhile, those who use Games with Gold service can check out our full July offerings, blah 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 blah. Cool. And that's another thing I forgot to mention. A lot of people don't know this, actually, and it surprised me that people didn't know this. And I suppose it wasn't really well advertised, apart from when it was first around, at least on Xbox One, where any games that you get on Games with Gold, they're like 360 games and Xbox Originals, they're yours to keep even if you're not a subscriber. Like, you've just basically gotten free games for next to, you've gotten these games for next to nothing. You've only gotten them for the price you're paying per month or per year, and they're yours forever. And a lot of people don't realise that, because I can't count how many people have actually came round and said to me that, like, when I say that, well, for example, that these games are still yours to keep, people have turned round to me and said, but they're not yours to keep because you still need to be subscribed to play them. I'm like, no, you don't. You do not need to be subscribed to have these games. And people were arguing with me saying, yes, you don't need to be subscribed to have these games, but you still need to be subscribed to play them. I'm like, no, you don't. You really don't. And I'm going to make that perfectly clear. If you have an Xbox console, be it an Xbox One or an Xbox 3 or whatever, and you're subscribed to Xbox Live Gold, which I'm sure most of you are, and you have been redeeming Games with Gold Xbox 360 games or Xbox original games, you don't have to stay subscribed to play those games. Once your subscription lapses, you still have unlimited access to those Xbox 360 and Xbox original games. It's always been that way, at least since the Xbox One came out. It hasn't changed. Well, sorry, at least since the backwards compatibility program was announced. But it hasn't changed. They've never stopped you from keeping the games. So, fuck. Go nuts, Xbox. I mean, I don't mind this at all, because out with the old and in with the new, I suppose. Replace the Xbox 360 games with Xbox One games, and Bob's your uncle, Fanny's your aunt, etc. Anyway, so that's enough about that. I think I've covered as much as I can in regards to what I find particularly important to talk about this last couple of weeks, this last month. Yeah, I guess that's it, isn't it? I've not really got anything else I want to talk about, to be honest. So what have I been up to? I bought a new set of earphones, or headphones, should I say. I got a bit of a windfall in regards to my wages there a couple of weeks ago, and I says, right, I might as well treat myself and buy myself not one but two pairs of headphones. I got myself one of my best mates recommended me these. I need to Google it because I've actually forgotten the name of the model. But they are Sony headphones, and they are the Sony WH-XB910N Extra Bass trademark noise cancelling wireless headphones. up to 30 hours of battery life, over-ear style, optimised for Alexa and Google Assistant, with a built-in mic for phone calls. Black. That's the Amazon.com description of this. The base price of these were actually €212, but Amazon had a sale for them for 24% off, so I got them for about €161, which was quite the bargain for me, actually, personally. And long story short, they are the best headphones I've ever bought, and at least in terms of using them for what I'm using them for, with that being my phone. Just like watching things on my phone, even using them on the Switch in handheld mode, they are fucking brilliant. And I tell you what, these are the first headphones I've got of its type as well. They're very advanced for what they are. I'm going to open this. Right, modern headphones these days come with apps, and these ones are no different. So these Sony headphones comes with an application, companion app that you can use to like adjust sound settings and all that. A lot of headphones have them these days, and this one is not different. I'm having a bit of trouble connecting it via Bluetooth, and I don't know if that's because I've got them plugged into the computer right now. I don't know if it's interfering or anything like that, but I was trying to connect these to the phone earlier on and I couldn't, so I don't know why it's not doing it now. I might have to actually turn them off, and I'm probably going to have to turn them back on and hold in the button, and then it'll say searching for what the fuck. I don't know. Now I don't know if it's because maybe I'm connected to some other device in the house. That sometimes happens as well. Like if I'm connected to multiple devices, it will not let me connect to a third or a second. So I reckon it's because I've got these headphones plugged into because I've got them plugged into the computer. I think that it's interfering with some other way. But anyway, the app in question, it's got a lot of fancy bells and whistles on it. You can adjust the type of noise cancelling you want, and it also can automatically adjust the headset settings, like noise cancelling and all that. It adjusts all of that depending on what you're actually doing physically. So you can have it set to be noise cancelling completely when you're sitting down. You can have it to be noise cancelling with wind reduction when you're out and about walking. If you're on public transport, you can have it be completely noise cancelling and cancel all voices and all that shit so that you don't hear anything outside. And I tell you what, it has the best bass I've ever heard in my life on any set of headphones. These come with what is it they call it? Extra bass. So you get your normal bass settings as well, but then you've got the Sony trademark extra bass, which according to them says extra bass for impressively deep, punchy sound. And the description is basically, enjoy exceptional bass with low frequency sound enhancement. A dedicated bass duct on the housing and increased air tightness between the driver units and eardrums help create precise, punchy rhythms that lift every track. There's no loss of vocal clarity, so you'll enjoy rich, well-rounded sound. It comes with authentic sound with DSEE, which is called Digital Sound Enhancement Engine, which apparently restores compressed music files so that you can enjoy richer sound. Adaptive sound control, which is what I was just explaining a minute ago. 30 hours of battery life apparently, which is decent. You get about 10 minutes it takes to charge, I think, something like that. I don't know. It says here a 10-minute quick charge gives you up to 4.5 hours of extra playtime with the optional AC adapter. So yeah, I'm waffling on and I'm rambling, I'm talking shite. The only thing it doesn't have that a bunch of other headphones might have is high-res audio. I don't know what that means. I don't even know if there's any difference between that and extra bass, but whatever. There's also a thing called 360 reality audio. Now, I didn't get to set that up properly, but what it actually does, as far as I'm concerned, is, first of all, it asks you to take a photo of your ears. And when it does that, it basically adjusts your audio based on your surroundings or something like that. I think it's really weird, and only a few apps actually use it, and I think that's why I haven't set it up properly, because only Amazon Music Unlimited, Deezer, Nugs.net, and Peer Tracks and Tidal are the only apps that support the 360 reality audio. Spotify doesn't support it, and that's what I use, so I don't bother with it. But yeah, no, definitely one of the best headphones I've ever had. So if you're looking for a pair of premium headphones and you're in the market for some, look for Sony WH-XB, for fuck's sake, Sony WH-XB910N extra bass. Fucking was, I don't know. But they're really good. I love them. But they're not the only headphones I bought. Oh, actually, forgot to, before I continue, it also has a log time, a usage time as well. So basically, today I've used my headphones for how long? For an hour and 47 minutes total. I've used these headphones. Now I don't know if that's included by using the Bluetooth with the app connected to it, and it's obviously not including times where it's turned off and I'm using the wire as I'm doing right now, so obviously it's not tracking that. But in terms of actual connection via Bluetooth and all that, it has told me that I've used it for an hour and 47 minutes today, and it even tracks how long you use it in the month and in the year and whatnot. It tracks it has an achievement system, which I found fucking hilarious. And what it basically is just a list of goals that you could set for yourself. Like, for example, one of the achievements is called, or badges as it's called here, one of the badges is called Headphones Connect Lover, which basically means you've used your headphones for a set number of days, and the more days you use it, the more you level up, basically. And there's other achievements here for registering your headphones to use in certain locations, like school or home or bus stop or gym. How many times you use it in certain settings, like beginner. Like for walking, for example, if you switch your actions 100 times, you get another achievement or you level up. So it gives you some incentive to continue using your headphones. I don't know if you get rewarded for it, but I kind of like it because I like achievement systems in general. So I think it's pretty cool that it actually has this. It sounds nonsense on surface, but I don't know. It gives you some incentive to continue using them, and I kind of like that. Yeah, brilliant headphones. But like I said, they aren't the only headphones I bought. I also bought these gaming headphones because I was in desperate need for some new headphones for console gaming, and I suppose gaming in general. I bought these Now, I had Turtle Beach headphones for the longest time. I've always bought Turtle Beach, apart from maybe the first time I started buying headphones. The first set of headphones I ever bought, Jesus, what were they? I want to say they were the Turtle Beach. No, wait a minute. Hold on, let me think. I think the first set of headphones I ever bought were Tritons. I think that's what they're called. Let me just double check. Yeah, there's a brand of headsets called Triton. I think those were the first headphones I ever bought. And they were good for the time, I suppose, but they only had Dolby Pro Logic 2. Not true surround sound or anything like that, but like kind of virtual surround sound, kind of tricking you into thinking that you've got surround sound plugged in. But it wasn't. They were alright, bit echoey. But those were the first headphones I bought. But from then, I stuck to Turtle Beach, and I can't remember what the first Turtle Beach headsets I ever bought were. They could have been the 2000 and I want to say 2009. This looks like them. The X41, I think. Those were the first Turtle Beach headphones I ever bought. The X41. And they're long gone now. I don't have them anymore, obviously. But I still have the transmitter for it. I don't know why I've kept a hold of them. But they're outdated now. But from then, 2009 thereabouts, from then I had Turtle Beach headphones going forward, and I never really went back. So I had the Turtle Beach X41s for a couple of years, I want to say, and then I upgraded to the Stealth 420X. No, that was for the Xbox. I got the Stealth 420Xs for the Xbox One. But I had another set of wired headphones that I can't remember for the life of me what they were called. 200X, nope. Shit. What were they called? I've bought so many. I'll have to find them. Hold on, I'll try 2014. Nope, I'll try 2013. Nope. Wait, no. Aha, PX22. See, I'm very good at that. So the X41s were the first Turtle Beach headphones I got. Then the ones I got after that were the PX22. Now, the PX22 on the surface were a downgrade from the X41 in terms of going from surround sound to stereo. But at the time, the sound quality, even though they were in stereo, were stupendous. They were so clear, so bassy, and you had a little transmitter thing that was plugged in that you could adjust. It would adjust your voice levels, it would adjust the game audio levels, it would adjust the loudness of your mic, the bass, the treble, all that. You had complete control over isolating noise and sound and all that, and volume, and my god, they were the best headphones I had, so much so that I still have them to this day, and they serve as emergency headphones for the time being, or headphones that my wife can use downstairs if she wants to chat to me on the mic. They're brilliant headphones, and I still have them to this day. That's how good they are, that's how much I like them. But in terms of how they're actually made and what they are quality wise and whatnot, they're a little bit outdated. So I haven't used them in a while, but I still have them. So the Turtle Beach headset I got after that was the ones I just mentioned, the Stealth 420X, and I bought them for the Xbox One. And they're wireless, and they were almost proprietary. They were only made for the Xbox One. They didn't work on anything else. Maybe the PC, I'm not sure, but I only got them for the Xbox One. I don't think they were surround sound now. I don't think so. They could have been. I'm going to look it up. The Stealth 420X. I don't know if they were surround sound. It says here on the box that they were not. They were definitely stereo, I think. I'll have a look. Just give me a second. Yeah, they were stereo. Yeah, the Stealth 420X were stereo headphones, very similar to the PX22, so slight upgrade to them, but they were like amplified stereo as well, so the quality was really good. They were decent, but they were only good for what I needed them for, which was just for the Xbox One, but I never really used them that much after that. I kind of gave them to my brother, and he just used them since. They were definitely the second most short-lived set of headphones that I had next to the 41X or whatever, the Stealth 41X or whatever. So that was them. And then I got the next set of headphones I got were the Elite 800. Now those at the time were the most expensive headphones I've bought, and I think they still remain to be the most expensive headphones I've ever bought. And it breaks my heart that I have to stop using them. I don't have to stop using them. They work fine. The headphones themselves work fine. It's the transmitter that I'm having issues with. The transmitter, for some strange reason, is just cutting out, and it's distorting the audio, and it's becoming a proper problem to the point where I just stopped using the transmitter. Now, the transmitter is the wireless device that you use to get a wireless signal to the headphones themselves, and on that device, on that transmitter, all your cables go in there, such as the USB power cable, and then you've got the optical cable, which goes from that to the console or TV that you're using. That's what gives you the surround sound, the DTSX as it's called. And that's what I was using for about 3 years now at this point, I think. I could be wrong. But they were at the time the best headphones I ever bought. And I still suppose to an extent they are still the best headphones I've ever bought. So, because upgrading them is a nightmare. Without paying out of the arse for them, they are a nightmare to upgrade from. Because if I'm going to upgrade from them, I'm going to have to pay out the nose. And unfortunately, these headphones are not really repurchasable again unless you buy them pre-owned. So I can't really buy these new. And that hereby leads to the problem with the transmitter. If I want to buy a new transmitter, I would have to import it from America, and that just costs too much money than it's worth. So I said to myself, right, I'm going to buy another set of headphones, but I'm not getting Turtle Beach. I'm done with Turtle Beach. I don't think I'll buy a Turtle Beach headset again. So I decided to shift over to a more budget set of headphones. Not too budget, but still kind of premium. I don't know. But I did a lot of research. I tried my best finding headphones that equivalated to the quality of the headphones that I was deciding to upgrade from. And the issue I have with Turtle Beach is its durability. They're very good, but the durability is not great. So I decided to buy a set of headphones that were made by a company called HyperX. Now, I had seen HyperX headphones before. I thought upon first glance they were tacky, but it turns out that they are actually quite well renowned, and they make very rigid and robust headphones. Apparently the quality of the headphones are really good. So I looked into them, and I says, right, what's the best headphones I can get that are of a similar price to the Elite 800s that I had? You know, some sort of equivalent. And I did a bit of a comparison graph to see what was better than what, and I decided to do Elite 800s compared to the Cloud Alpha wireless. And my findings were quite positive, in that the Cloud Alpha wireless is almost as good as the Turtle Beach Air Force Elite 800s, and apparently the Cloud Alpha headphones are much better. Not by much, but they are better. They've got similar design, similar comfort. The difference being is that I didn't need a transmitter to use the HyperX Cloud Alpha wireless. It comes with a USB stick, which acts as the transmitter, like a wireless adapter. And they are exclusively used only console-wise on PS4 and PS5. Now, they do work on Switch, which I actually found to be quite interesting, which means I could actually plug the transmitter into the Switch, and they do work. And they also work on PC as well, with the DTS and all that shit. And it makes me question, it says that they're not compatible with Xbox, but it doesn't say that they're not, it doesn't even say on the thing that they're compatible with Switch either. So I'm curious as to know whether or not they are actually compatible with Xbox, and only time will tell, because I don't actually have the Xbox in here right now. My wife has it. So I'm waffling on about fucking headphones here, when all I just wanted to say was that I got 2 new headphones. I got Sony headphones, and I got HyperX Cloud Alpha headphones, is what I'm basically trying to get at. But basically, the reason why I bought the Cloud Alpha headphones is because they have a USB transmitter, and they are also quite comfortable to wear, and they're apparently better than the Elite 800s. So I'm going to try and get as much use out of these as I possibly can. I really enjoy them right now. They're very bassy. They're not as loud as I would like, but they're not that quiet either. The maximum volume is actually quite fine. But the reason why they couldn't allow you to unlock the volume is for World Health Organization like regulations. Like, they had to abide by safety hazards and all that shit. Like, so I think that's why they had to limit the volume, but it's not that limited. They're actually really good. But yeah, 7.1 surround sound, so it says. DTS-X, whatever the fuck that is, it's whatever, but it's got 3D audio and that's what I wanted, so that'll do me. Yeah, so 2 new set of headphones and I'm really enjoying them. And I think that's just about it for this episode of the podcast. So yeah, what is it? It's the 9th, no, it's the 11th of July. I suppose the next time you will hear from me on the next episode, I will be a married man. I am getting married on Friday the 15th of July. And it's scary. Very, very scary. I don't know what to say. We're having it outdoors. We're having the ceremony outdoors, weather permitted. We're having it in a hotel. So the whole thing, the whole ceremony is in one place. The only time we really need to leave the place is to go get the photos taken, which thankfully are literally just over a bridge and up a small hill, because it's there's a big castle there, and we're going to get our photos taken there, and it should make for a fantastic day out. But I'm nervous as all fuck. When was it? I proposed in. Oh fuck, what was it? September 2019 on Friday the 13th, I'll never forget that. I proposed outside the front gate of my work, sweating, covered in bleach, and just desperate for a fucking shower. But my theory was that if I was going to propose, I wasn't going to make it obvious. I wasn't going to like say, oh, why don't we go to the beach? Or why don't we go to this restaurant? Why don't I take you out to this location? Because it would have been obvious. It would have been so fucking obvious. I was like, do you know what? The most out there and unplanned way I could do this is to basically just do it when she picks me up from work, and that's exactly what I did. So, everything is sorted apart from one aspect, and that's at this moment, as I say this, it's probably going to be sorted by the time. It will be sorted. It has to be fucking sorted. Jesus Christ, it has to be. But it's the kilts. I'm still waiting for them to arrive at my door. The person making the kilts has made it their business to make sure that they're done on time, and he says that if I have to drive down to your house myself, I will do that. So I'm very confident that they'll be sorted in no time. But the only worry I have really is not so much that them getting here, it's them getting here and something not being right size wise, because we have no time to get these sent back up. So if a kilt ends up being too small for someone, he may suck in his gut. Every single one of the groomsmen, including myself, bar one, is we're not skinny. We're far from fucking skinny, I'll tell you that. We're all big lads. 3 of them are extremely tall and hefty, and I mean that in a very respectful way. I'm hefty myself, but I'm stocky. I look like a garden gnome. My brother is probably the skinniest out of the lot, so he's probably the easiest. But the rest of us, it's just a case of, I hope to fucking God everything fits, because we are not small. Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it, but I am shitting a brick. I just hope the whole thing goes well. I hope everything goes smooth. I hope it all goes as planned. I'm really nervous. I hope that it goes well. But I'm really excited as well. But it's just going to be strange that after Friday night, on Saturday, I'm going to be going home a married man. And I never thought that day would come. Well, I did, but I didn't think it would come. Like, it's weird. I know it's coming. It just still doesn't feel real, really. And of all the people that have told me over the years, don't get married, you'll regret it. Like, I'm sorry, but I'm not living your shitty life. I'm just like, do you know what I mean? I'm not living your misery to tell me not to get fucking married because you had a shit experience. I'm sure my experience won't be anywhere near as shit. But I'm excited. No, I really am excited. This was definitely a long-term plan with the girl I'm with, but it was just a matter of when. And thankfully, we avoided COVID. We avoided COVID. COVID didn't get in the way. People were speculating that we were waiting until after COVID had ended But no, it just so happened to be well timed. It was going to be 2022, whether we liked it or not. We had planned it to be 2022, the year I proposed, and COVID hadn't happened yet, so it just landed well time-wise. I've got two good friends of mine coming over from Scotland. They're two of my groomsmen. My brother's my best man, and I've got a good friend up in Galway, which is about 3 hours away from me, or 2 hours away from me. He's a groomsman as well. Yeah, the ceremony's going to be outdoors, weather permitted, so hopefully it'll be decent. And if the weather stays like this, I'm in for a sweaty morning, because those kilts are not light, they're heavy. They're very fucking heavy, especially for me because I'm very small in stature, so I'll be weighed down. So yeah, I'm waffling on again, but I'm really excited, but I'm nervous, but I'm hoping it all goes well. And just excited for, like, I'm excited for everyone to enjoy themselves. I'm just up for a big fucking mad sesh at the end of it. Hopefully that'll be a good one. Hopefully I won't get too fucking drunk. No, it'll be a good day, it'll be a good evening, it'll be a good weekend, and I hope everyone enjoys it. So if anyone's listening to this and you're coming to the wedding, have a good laugh. We're going to have a good laugh, we're going to enjoy ourselves, and we're going to have a lot of fun. And I'm stuttering now. Sweating. Fuck. Oh, I'm getting old. I'm not getting young anymore. Yeah, so that's basically it. So I guess if you've made it this far into the podcast, then you've made it to the end. Congratulations. You sat through, God knows how long this took, but you sat through it and you hopefully didn't get bored. I wouldn't be surprised if you did. But if you did make it this far, then thanks very much. Hope you enjoyed it. And if you enjoyed all this shit, you know what to do. Visit my YouTube channel and all that shit. It's all there. You know what to do. Yeah. The next time I see you, I will be Mr. Married Man with a ring on his left fucking finger. Oh god, I'm still coming to terms with the fact that this is actually happening. I can't even, but I think it's going to sink in on the day of, maybe. Oh man, I hope I don't shite myself. Anyway, right, no, I've gone on long enough. So if you enjoyed this episode, then thanks very much for taking the time to watch it. You know what to do if you enjoyed it and you want to see more. Thanks again. This has been Dave talking to you on GB Gaming, where video games come first. And I'll see you whenever I see you. Thank you, take care, stay safe, and goodbye. Thank you for taking the time to watch or listen to this content. If you want to see more, then please check out my YouTube channel at youtube.com/gamerboy. That's GAMERBHOY. Gamerboy with an H. This is the home of GB Gaming, the home of GB Reviews. The blame on that one level that killed me 68 fucking times. All just so I could get a couple of fucking letters. Just play. Right, that's it, I'm done. No. Just Rant. The Metal Gear franchise is made and owned by a scumbag company such as Konami, and it bugs me that my new love for the Castlevania franchise is somewhat diminished. And of course, the GB Gaming Podcast, available on both YouTube and Spotify. If you're a Spotify user, be sure to use the search bar and input GB Gaming Podcast. All my episodes are here, as well as SoundCloud if that's your thing. If you're a SoundCloud user, then all you need to do is visit soundcloud.com/GB Gaming. That's soundcloud.com/GB Gaming. If you like all of what I've just mentioned, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell to be notified on all future content. I'm also on Twitter. You can find all my stupid opinions if you search for me at GamerBoy89. All of my channel updates go through here as well, so if you haven't hit the bell, you can always find updates here. You don't have to do any of that if you don't want to though. If you're just a passerby, then thank you for stopping in. Don't forget to leave feedback. I'm always looking to improve on things, so don't be shy to say what you think. Once again, thank you for visiting GB Gaming, where video games come first.